Welcome to FNS Network. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the content. Can I rap real quick? Can I rap? On the path to being the best power in the airwaves, changing the way we break it down the game. Wide body on the highway, we not in one lane, no nonsense. Logic with every topic. The talk too real, the party we not invited. Want the truth? FNS subscribe to it. The death shows, just play and ride to it. The voice is more important than the image. Feel every word spoken, no need for camera tricks. We on the grind, freeze corner with Jay sideline. DBP next in line. You gotta feel he did know when you're fired. We in it for the long haul, the fatigue's off. We don't get tired. Nah, we don't get tired.
What's poppin'? Welcome back to FNS Podcast. We here.
What's going on? We back again.
So what we got on the menu today is, Josh is going to lead this.
No, you win this too. You win this too.
He said he had some things to say.
Yeah, but you win this too.
I'm in it, but you said you had some things to say. You know what I'm saying? You said I got some stuff to get off my chest about Madden in college.
Yeah,
I'm not critical of him.
Look, we all know.
Which one we hitting first, though?
We can hit it college first, being that comes out first.
Okay, I just want to know so I can.
Yeah.
So we doing the college, all right?
Yeah, college first. So first of all, we was all very thankful to finally receive a college game again.
What? Quick question, my bad. Is Deion in this? Because I didn't see him. They said 300 real coaches or something like that. But is Deion in this? Because I would think they would show him.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it might be one of those things where he was like, y'all ain't gonna put me in unless y'all pay me the right amount of money, or I don't know. Maybe
if they implementing real coaching schemes, if he's not in there, because they say each coach got their own.
Right.
So if that means Colorado not gonna be authentic if he's not in it.
I mean, look, I don't really know. I mean, having the real coaches in there and they schemes and stuff, and I'm not going to say that that thing is not important.
I would think you would like something like that.
Yeah, I personally would. I personally do that. I like that they got every coach playing to their personality, or at least coaching to their personality. But the thing is, when you do that, are you doing that with the offensive coordinators? Are you doing that with the defensive coordinators?
Now, how many schools is in the game? Like 180? Or something like that?
I don't know.
It's over 100. If they seeing 300 real coaches, they got to have offensive, defensive coordinators in there, because if it's like over 100 something real coaches, you got to have coordinators and stuff in there, right?
Right. I mean, I would think so. I mean, this ain't gonna be, as far as the teams is concerned, this ain't gonna be as deep as the PS2 joints like 06, 07 and whatnot, where you can they even had the HBCUs in there.
No, that's probably a whole different license agreement anyway.
Right, but at the end of the day, they had it in PS2.
Well, you seen all the crap they had to go through just to get this out. Right.
So, I mean, but well, I'm saying that because college hasn't had them in the video game since 07 or 08, I think it was. All the PS3 versions.
Whenever that not Doug Williams came out with a game exclusively for 360, if anyone wants to know that. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that great. So that technically, that was the last game where HBCUs was in it. It was a Doug Williams college football game that was exclusively on 360. The game was terrible, low key. It was just, it had the bands and stuff in there, though. You know what I'm saying? It had some good historical stuff in there, but I'm quite sure Josh knows about Doug Williams.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I mean, look, anybody that's you can appreciate Doug Williams with Grambling, but then you can also appreciate that he's the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl ring. As it started with the Washington Redskins. Mm-hmm. So they no longer the Redskins anymore, but that's who they was when he played for. But so I'm gonna start off with the trailers, right? The
So we
trailer.
hitting college first, right?
Yeah, hitting college
All right.
first. So when you start off with the trailers, the first reveal trailer that they had for it, they was like advertising the drones in the sky, showing the logos of the team.
Yeah.
I'm like, first of all, who does that? Second of all, why should we care?
EA does. I've said this before. EA does a great job of making you think they about to hit you with something, and when you play it, it's not the case. They're elite at that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm just saying this because, nobody cares about having drones. Nobody cares about having drones.
Let's say you did. You gonna care for like one game, and after that, you gonna be worried about what's going on the field.
Not
man.
even
like, you know what I'm saying?
College for the video game, if they can get the atmosphere right, that is an accomplishment in itself. Because let's just for an example, right? Basketball video games, in comparison to what you watch on TV, which one was the better game when it came to the environment? College Hoops 2K8 or NCAA Basketball 10?
10. It was College Hoops for the most part.
They had the better environment.
Like both of them games was fire, dog. I ain't gonna hold you up.
No. I'm not saying that. I mean, because to me,
because NCAA Basketball 10, like they presentation, that was probably the best presentation that, like as far as college basketball, the presentation.
NCAA
some of them crowds wasn't like on point though either. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's why I'm saying like it's like a mixed bag, because if you play college hoops, that atmosphere with the crowd, that's like, hey, you know what I mean? It be on point, you know what I mean? College NCAA Basketball 10 sometimes didn't match that, but the presentation was fire though. Right. So I don't know. I call them games almost even, dog, because NCAA 10 got some cold stuff. College hoops got some cold stuff. It's just kind of the preference there.
So in my personal opinion, NCAA 10 had, to me, the night and day better environment.
Meaning what, like, crowds and all that?
Yeah, the crowds and all that. The games felt more important with how loud you heard the cheers louder in the background, the rumbling and vibrating and stuff like that. Dick Vitale was on that joint and stuff like that. And so it's like, I personally felt like that was better. But anyway, that was just trying to use an example of a college environment. If anybody has been to a pro game and to a college game, you'll see that those environments are completely different. College environments, you're going to have traditions that come with the college. You're going to have the bands playing. You're going to be having the crowd yelling the chants for the team, along with the cheerleaders and stuff like that. Like, you're going to have all of that. So if you can have that, oh yeah, and then on top of that, the intros when the team actually comes onto the field. For a lot of colleges, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of colleges, that's a big deal. Like my squad, Florida State, every home game, Chief Osceola plants the spear in the field. Every home game. Then you got Clemson. They come off the bus and they run down the hill and they touch that rock.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tradition. Notre Dame, they tap that sign that says "Play like a champion" coming out the locker room. Those are signature intros that mean something to each college team. So
are you saying that 25 didn't do a good job?
25 did a good job with that. I would say that 12, 13, 25, and if they keep it 26, they've got those intros right.
The trailer looked like they got the intros
right
from the little bit I seen. They ain't gonna show every squad. You know what I mean? But
no.
What I seen looked more detailed than last year.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's gonna be more detailed or is it gonna be just more teams having their authentic thing. So that's like an improvement alone in itself. Or that's just like checkbox one for college. Mm-hmm. And so I got the reveal trailer playing on my TV right now. Yeah. So and it's bringing stuff to mind. I'm not sure if you played this mode much at all or not, but the Road to Glory.
No.
The Road to Glory was like at its best. I'll say aspects of it was at its best like on that 09. And then when you got to like the 12, 13, 14, where you started playing full high school seasons and you was being actively recruited throughout the seasons based on how good you did, and how good you did determined on what schools was going to offer you a scholarship. Like that part was great. 25, you didn't have to work for nothing. You just picked what you was going to be, whether you was going to be a 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, whatever. And then you just selected the college that you wanted to go to. You didn't really have to grind or anything
to get to that point. Back in this one though.
Yeah. They said they put the high school back in there. The only thing that sucks about it is they, if I remember it correctly, they did not change the positions that you can play. You still got only the 5 positions to choose from, which is like quarterback, running back, wide receiver, linebacker, and corner.
I mean, I would like to think at this point in time, with the capabilities, you should be able to select any position that you choose to play at. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would think that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, from the tackles on down, you know what I mean? Send all that. Not saying that, but everybody not quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not running backs. You might have a lineman that want to play as a lineman. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And even though it's a small percentage of people, you still want to cater to them.
I mean, at this point, you should be able to do whatever you should be able to do. So, I mean, that's really, but
you should be able to do it. Let's see here. But then they came out with the deep dive trailer, which is, I don't know if it's really deep like they say it is.
Neither one of them is deep dives, to be honest. But, deep dives, they just talking about mainly look, at the end of the day, I'm not getting hyped about nothing, because I go through this is the same cycle. They say what's new, they claim it's new, then when you play it, it don't feel new. It's just like some with a new name on it. I like the fact they got the coaches. They said that was something they leaked last year, that coaches probably was going to be in there this year. So this is not something that's foreign, right? Playbooks and schemes and all that was in past games, right? Where they had their own stuff, right?
Playbooks and schemes have kind of been in, but like it's like one of those things where it was like the teams won't always play to that personality.
That's gonna be the same with this. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's just this stuff is just a selling point. Like, most people who play this is gonna buy it regardless. So I mean, the whole thing, like, look,
it's just are you gonna pay for the bundle or are you gonna buy it?
I'm just hoping again, because you're gonna have a lot of these wise guys going on the internet claiming not gonna buy it, ain't gonna be reviewing it and playing it and all that. You know what I mean? Like
they're gonna have a way to play it from somebody.
College is gonna sell. This game sells itself. You know what I'm saying? They did a good job last year. The game was out. Now, the problem was the editing, but they slowly updated that into the game as the year went. So hopefully all that is there.
Okay, so that's a good thing that you brought up right there. What was the flaws with 25?
The editing. That was the flaws. I mean, honestly, the editing because
editing and not being able to transfer draft classes.
That's not in this either. You know what I'm saying? They didn't mention that whatsoever, dog.
Not one time.
If that was gonna be in it, they would have mentioned that because that's the big key feature. See,
right.
So the thing is, that's, and I mentioned this when I was talking. I did a reaction to the Madden trailer, and it's like this. If they could find a way to where they can block it, because just like you can't edit none of the authentic players, but you can edit all the other the generics.
Or how about you just let me create a player from scratch?
But that should be in the. I don't know why. You know what I mean? But hopefully that's there. That's basic functions. I don't understand, but whatever. The thing is, they trying to protect themselves because I don't know the details of the lawsuit they had. You know what I mean? I don't know if it had something to do with the Ultimate Team and stuff like that, because NCAA Football 14 had Ultimate Team. Right. And you was able to get real. I don't know what that lawsuit was, but it shut them down for a long time. So I understand why they're careful about it. So I know initially they said something about you can't create name combinations. You can't make Archie Manning and stuff. You got to kind of, you know what I mean? Things like that. So
I mean, look, at the end of the day, no matter what kind of blockade you try to put up, them real smart techie computer dudes, they gonna find a way around that.
Pretty much.
And it's still gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
don't see why you took out the creative player. That was crazy. And then you couldn't even when you edit the players, because that was the reason why they did 2 seasons. Well, 2 and a little bit, because I'm playing with Missouri now because I left EMU. But the thing is, when you edit players, you can't even change how they look. It's dog, I can't change how they look.
You can only do the name and the size and the position and stuff like that. And then
the thing is everybody half breeds, they look Hispanic or something. It's dog, I can't make a black dude. I can't make a white dude. I just, whatever you random select. And then, you know what I'm saying? So that right there, that was the big problem for me, because when I played college, I create everything.
Right.
Top to bottom. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what I do. The whole day, I take EMU and create everybody. It takes me a day to do it, and then have my own team and then do it like that. So the fact I couldn't do it like that kind of was a blow. That's the big thing for me. Everything else was good. It's the freedom of creation.
The freedom of creation was a big deal. It still is a big deal. They ain't gonna bring this back, I don't think. But one of the things that I used to love to do on the PS2 versions, when it comes to creating the playbook, you actually create that mug from scratch. Now, you draw the plays up, draw the formations up, draw the plays up, and you will create a playbook like that. I like making a playbook like that, but now when you create a playbook, you just pulling from all the plays that they got in the game, and you just making the playbook out of those.
That can still be time consuming.
It is. It is still time consuming. It takes about an hour or 2 to run through it properly if you do it per formation. Yeah. So an hour or 2 per formation. If you run through it properly, and when I say run through it properly, I mean think about your personnel that you got on your team. Then think about what plays work best for them. Then you gotta that they have this thing where you gotta put a star next to each play as to how it's rated for first down, for first and short, first and long, second and short, second and medium, second and long, third and long. Is it 2-minute warning? Is it 2-minute offense, goal line offense, clock management, all that stuff?
Would you say that take longer than actually creating your own stuff?
Based on what they,
because if you creating your own plays, right, you kind of got an idea how you want to do this instead of trying to select through this pile.
Right. Yes. Right. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it can and it can't. I mean, it sounds like, because they didn't always have that in the playbook, because that's the other thing. You can't just be like let me create a playbook and just start with your own and you just selecting from the pile. No. For you to create a playbook, you have to take one of the playbooks that already exist and you got to delete what you don't want and then add what you want.
That take even more time instead of start from a blank slate. So when you create plays, how many plays you create? Because a playbook, you know what I'm saying? Like some people got
so the thing is, and this is how I do it. When I'm creating a playbook, I want to make a playbook where plays are easy to find and I don't have to do a whole lot of searching to get to what I want. So what I do is I start off with like maximum like 12 plays in one formation. 12 plays in one formation. And then when that formation has different sets too. I mean, so if I got an I form for formation and I got one wide receiver on each side, that's going to be 12 plays. But if I switch that up to where I have both wide receivers on the left or both wide receivers on the right, that's going to be another 12 plays right there. And then if I have it to where I got three wide receivers and no tight end, how they lined up, that's another 12 plays. You know what I'm saying?
How do you be drawing up your wide receiver routes?
It depends on who I got on my team. Because you can think that every wide receiver can do everything all you want. But not every wide receiver can do everything. Now, there are certain wide receivers that can do everything, and those dudes is few and far in between. But for the most part, wide receivers, they just like, it's just like, I mean, how many players in basketball would you say can do everything?
Nobody really except Brian and probably a couple, there's a handful of people. So
right. So, all right. And then how many players in basketball do you think can score everywhere on the floor at a high clip?
Nobody. Not nobody.
All right, then. So there you go. When you think it's the same world with football, when
so you
talk about
your playbook when you get certain dudes.
Exactly. Because you can't think that you're gonna run the same thing with everything that walks through the door. You can't. You can't think that you're gonna run the same thing. And so, like, you know, this is the same thing when we start talking about Madden. I'll tell you that too, because creating the playbook with them is pretty much copy and paste. The same
so I gotta
exact.
pick your brain here. So if you got a 2-star wide receiver, right? Versus with a 5-star. Right? So when you drawing up routes, are these short routes, cutting routes?
It depends on what.
The 2-star really not a deep threat.
That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that, because a 2-star can just be really good at one or two things, and there's 2-star wide receivers that can be speed demons that can beat you down the field in a race, or they can just beat you going across the field. It really just depends on what each player's capability is. It's not about being 5, 4, 3, 2-star, whatever. It's not about that. Because Keyshawn Johnson, I think he was the first wide receiver selected first overall in the NFL draft.
Keyshawn
by the
Johnson?
Jets. Yeah, Keyshawn Johnson.
He
by
was
the
first
Jets.
overall?
First overall.
Do you think he lived up to that?
No. I mean, not when you compare to what was already out here. No. He didn't live up to that. First round, yeah, but first overall, no. When you think, first of all, when you think top 5 wide receivers and stuff like that,
His
you
name
think
don't pop up.
No, but you got to think about it though. It's like, okay, that was in a time where football players was like limited and they was more so in a box to where it was like, okay, you have to do this, specifically this. Now, as time has gone on, it's open up the door for more creativity and whatnot. So when you have certain, pretty much, to make a long story short, with what I'm getting at here is, you know, a 5-star recruit, athlete, whatever way you want to call him, he could still be outdid by some other lower star players at certain aspects of the game. But he just might be capable of doing everything, just not at a high clip.
Would you say being a deep threat increased the risk of interceptions?
Not really, because most interceptions is thrown within the first 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Most interceptions is thrown within 20 yards. So, I mean, a deep threat, you just got to have a quarterback that can get the ball down there and throw it on time and make it catchable.
And in college football, when you have, man, that quarterback is key. You know what I'm saying? They're throwing. I mean, man, listen, dog.
It really depends.
The accuracy, that's key.
It really depends. It really depends, because in college football, you can say, you can argue, and there's examples to prove this. You can argue that that's where your quarterback doesn't have to necessarily be the greatest. He can just be consistent at doing certain things. Because think about it. Tim Tebow, he was the face of the Gators for like 2-3 years. He's not an accurate quarterback. He's not an accurate quarterback.
He was cold with them. He wasn't cold.
But that's what I'm saying. You gotta look at his surroundings. He was surrounded with speed demons, Aaron Hernandez, and all of them. You know, and he had elite coaching with him too. Like Urban Meyer is, even though he's not the greatest pro coach, he's got a great football mind, and he's one of the greatest college football coaches in the history of college football.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also one of the greatest recruiters in college football. All them Gators teams was loaded. They was loaded.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you think about Tim Tebow, like, he's not the greatest quarterback to throw the ball or anything like that. Like, no, not at all. Not at all. And then another example of quarterbacks that wasn't really that great at throwing the ball and being accurate, but yet they was winners in college. Ohio State's old quarterback.
You're gonna talk Terrell Pryor, are you?
Well, he's another one. Terrell Pryor, he came into the league and they switched his positions. They said, look, you better wide receiver.
Terrell Pryor was not terrible.
No, but what I'm saying is, these are guys that aren't really elite, but they can look that way.
The Gators do the shot, he wouldn't have been a decent quarterback in the league. Because I heard his pass is what was really getting his way. You know what I'm saying? Like, Terrell Pryor was all right, man. He wasn't like, to me, from what I seen, he wasn't garbage, man.
I'm not saying that he was garbage, but when you think about the NFL, and you think about starting capable quarterbacks, he's not one that came to mind. He could be a backup.
Would you say Shedeur is then?
Shedeur is a starting capable quarterback. But like, you can see it with him. Like, he already showing that in they little mini camp practices right now. He's highly efficient. He don't really turn the ball over, and he scores with it too. So like he's a pure quarterback from the neck up. He's a pure quarterback. Now, his latest incidents that he been getting into with the speeding tickets and whatnot, he need to grow up and mature. But like when it comes to that football field and him playing a quarterback, oh, he's got the goods.
A speeding ticket shouldn't stop him from starting.
No, but when you the 144th pick in the draft, you're not as highly invested. I mean, I can't. It doesn't make sense to me neither why he went. He should have been top 10, top 25. At bare minimum, he should have got drafted by the Steelers. And look at their quarterback situation. They banking on Aaron Rodgers.
I seen a little bit. I posted a little bit of that. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we'll see. They were saying something about them, about how they underachieved. We'll get to that in Madden.
But anyway, so but on this college though, outside of the coaching thing, I did not really see anything at all where I was like,
listen, what people got to realize, I need to say this to the people. Game development is hard. So you're not in sports games, you're not going to get no year-to-year big changes. That's why I feel like you should bring out a new, when you see new changes, when you talk basketball, football, anything, it was always after like 3-4 years, you seen like a major change. You know what I'm saying? It was never next year that you seen incremental changes. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes a long time to code this stuff. I'm all about like, hey, when it comes to sports titles, if you keep the same game, right, but you pay for the $10, $20 for the new rookies, whatever the case is, jersey updates, whatever the case is, keep that boom. Therefore, I think that'd be just fine to come out with a new sports game every 3 years. You know, every 3-4 years. I'm not against that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against that.
You know what they're going to do? They're going to up the price, though, because they don't want to lose out on that money.
But this the thing, though. Even, let's say they did that, right? Let's say they charge the game for whatever the case is, but they're not coming out with a new game for another 3-4 years. You know what I'm saying? You got dynasty modes, you playing year after year after year that, and then you getting new rookie classes and stuff like that. I'm not really tripping off that because you're going to get the same arguments, you know what I mean, or the same complaints every year. Oh, it's not different enough. Dog, they're not going to change the whole, you know how long it takes to make a new engine?
It doesn't need to be extremely different. It just needs to improve on the flaw.
Yeah, that's what
like master what you got.
Yeah.
Master what you got. So, like, one of the things that, so in college, in comparison to pro, college is really where speed is advertised at its best. Like, fast players stand out like crazy. And the special players stand out like crazy. Like, they can, like, for instance, one player that's really special in college football can impact the game like how one player that's really special can impact the game in basketball.
Right, but wouldn't I see what this thing with football, right? So if you a special receiver,
especially if they in the trenches,
if you a special receiver, we got a bad quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see, but that's what I'm saying.
You know what
I mean? Because
a
whole lot of the college quarterbacks, it's like, look, I just want you to get it in the area. I just want you to get it in the area. He's great enough to where he gonna go get it. You know how many great receivers played with terrible quarterbacks in college? Calvin Johnson was one of them.
Straight up.
When he was at Georgia Tech don't produce no quarterbacks. They ain't known for that. I don't even think they got one in the league. Georgia Tech don't produce no quarterbacks at all. For the longest, Georgia Tech been an option team.
I mean, Calvin Johnson is one of the special guys, though.
Yeah, Calvin, look, he's one of those guys like that sports science, which is, by the way, rest in peace.
Yeah,
sports science. But like when he did the sports science on Calvin Johnson, this dude had a catch radius of a 2-car garage.
I think I've seen that episode.
Right. He had a catch radius of a 2-car garage. So if you got a catch radius of a 2-car garage, that's a lot of real estate that I got to where I can be like, as long as I throw it within this vicinity, he can go get it.
I mean, look,
or
man.
like, and then you got like Larry Fitzgerald's quarterback. Do you know who that dude was?
No.
Exactly. Nobody knows who's got. Last year, the quarterback that won the national championship, Will Howard, he ain't that cold. He ain't that cold.
Is he getting a shot in the league or no?
He got drafted. He got drafted by Pittsburgh. So
he in the league though.
Does that mean that he's getting a shot? I don't know if that means he's getting a shot, but you know, it is what it is. But like this right here, college, to me, it literally looks like copy and paste. And
last year was fire on the field, in my opinion. Can't lie.
So if you really dissect it, last year, college and Madden was literally like on level playing fields when it came to the gameplay.
I mean, it's about time.
But like, the only difference is college just felt a little bit faster. But
you say speed though, right?
No, but not like not speed as in, well, in the video game, not speed as in, oh man, the fast players, he gonna be able to outrun everybody and it's gonna look like he's getting separation. Not like that. It just played faster in the sense of everybody on the field moved faster.
But isn't college more of a fact? I mean, if you from college to pro slows down anyway. Period.
Right. Because everybody's it does. But what I'm saying is, so like, what's a good example for this? So like back in 09, if you had a fast running back, wide receiver, whatever, you saw on the field that he was significantly faster than everybody else because he was spread out.
Right.
He was spread out. This year, it really wasn't that. It really wasn't no spreading out. Like, you would get past folks, but they would like stay right there within range. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, snap.
No, you're
like,
right.
Like, you know, you create a running back with like 96 speed and whatever, whatnot. Like, you can't turn that corner as easy as the dudes in real life can do.
The problem I had with the game, I forgot, was the fact that no huddle plays. I had issues with no huddle. I hated playing schools that constantly did no huddle.
Well, that's a thing, though.
That pisses me off, man. Like, I'm like, dog, I almost lost. No, actually, no, I didn't. No, I won a national championship and lost. I didn't go back to back. But that no huddle was tearing me up, though. I mean,
well, that's the thing.
Like, that's crazy. Thing. That no huddle was ridiculous, man. It's like, what is this, a glitch?
No. That's a
no huddle the whole game.
That's a thing.
Josh.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Some teams' offense works like that because what they doing is they trying to make you keep the same defensive set on the field and tire you out.
Dog, that jump was pissing. No huddle the whole game. The whole game.
Some teams start off just like that. They start off just like that. See, but that's where the difference of the modern college from the past college really shows up, because past college, it played more like a pro style. Modern college is, especially ever since Chip Kelly with Oregon, it's like speed.
Would you, if you was coaching, have a no huddle offense the whole game?
Everybody has to have a no huddle offense to a degree.
Would you do it the whole game though?
Heck no.
All right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
heck no. I mean, but that's my style. But that's my style. My style. I'm like, look, we gonna make sure everything is, you know. First of all, we gonna make sure everybody's on the same page, and then I don't want to hit the defensive coordinator with the same personnel play after play after play. I want to change it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, okay. So you had a defense in mind for that. Do you got a defense in mind for this? Do you have a defense in mind for this? Do you have a defense in mind for that? Like, because you need to be able to do multiple things with the same set, or with different players on the field. You gotta be able to do multiple things. But
college always felt faster than Madden, though.
Yes, it always felt faster. So in a sense, the game speed felt faster, but the player speed, it wasn't as fast as it should have been, if you ask me.
I'm not going to disagree, because I had issues where I had some questions about some of the dudes that created and some dudes who just hawking them down. Like, I don't understand this.
Exactly.
But, exactly. I don't understand this at all.
Exactly.
Like, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So they don't really average. Now you can manually customize that because they got the slider. What's this called? The player speed threshold, where I think it starts off at 50, but if you like lower it, it'll make the speed disparity.
Sliders is really like when it comes to sliders. That's really in all games, to get to find the right sliders, you got to tweak. They take like a while to find the right sliders. You know what I'm saying? You got to really, because you got some cats that got they whole set like these, the most realistic sliders. Everybody got different sliders. You got to find what works for you when it comes to these sliders. You know what I'm saying? So,
but yeah, I didn't see anything in here where I was like,
truthfully, did you expect anything majorly different?
The only thing that I had my eyes out for, because to be perfectly honest, they could have gave me the same exact thing as last year, but just let me transfer draft classes, and I would have been fine.
So that goes to my point here. It's not going to change like that. I mean, I don't expect it to. I mean, just polish it up. Make it like the bugs and stuff, any type of issues, minor issues, fix that. We good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not expecting nothing crazy, but I don't think transfer draft classes in here. That's why I told you I'm going to just deal with the Madden on the Switch thing, if that's the case. If there's no transfer draft classes, dog, and the Madden is the same on the Switch too, I'm going to just roll with that then. Because I can't transfer my draft classes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but the thing is, in Madden, like, folks is going to create the draft class anyway.
Well, that's why I did that 25. I downloaded. I was looking for draft classes. I was trying to find. I found a decent one with Shador and Travis Hunter. You know what I'm saying? Found a decent one. I'm gonna see where they land. I'm almost done with my season. You know what I'm saying?
Well, see, like, okay. So this is another thing that they did, right? They it looked like they just took the Madden tackling system from last year and they added it into this one.
Talking about that new that probably.
That boom tech stuff.
It's the same game. It's the same engine. They're not gonna really change. I mean, listen, you don't. For me personally, I'm gonna say personally, this is my opinion. You know what I mean? I don't want to switch because I remember with College Hoops 2K, for example, they had a different engine from 2K3 and 4. So when you switch from College Hoops 2K3 to NBA 2K3, completely different engine. 2K4 to NBA 2K4, completely different engine. Then it same engine with 5, so you can go back and forth with it with ease, no problem. I'd rather it be that case. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be completely different. You know what I'm saying? That's how it was when you had Madden on PS2. Same exact engine. You just go from no issue. You know what I mean? Like,
PS2 stayed the same for so long.
Man, the PS2, I feel like that's peak Madden though. PS2 is peak Madden.
PS2 is peak Madden when you think about everything in a totality.
That's what I'm saying. Peak Madden.
Across and the college board.
Live 2. EA was cold on PS2. They was fire on PS2, dog. They was cold.
Yeah, that was their system.
You know what I mean?
That was their system. Whoever them dudes was, they must have retired.
Let me ask you this. So, if you had the same gameplay from the PS2 college, obviously updated cold graphics with a couple different animations, but that gameplay, we talk about new gen stuff. Would you be cool with that?
For some things.
I play NCAA 06. I'm like, man, this thing kind of alright. I was playing that the other day. Like, this game kind of cold actually still.
For some things. For some things, yes. For some things. Like the new gen stuff does some things better. It's just you expect more because you're like, well, look at what's another video game that's out? Look at what FIFA does. You know, you be looking at them and you be like, yo, where y'all at? You know,
they be having different development teams.
Yeah, MLB The Show. Come on, man. Where y'all at?
That's always up there. But see, they got the same problem Madden got. Same game every year. But MLB The Show, this is the thing. Because I'm playing through that right now.
Well, how much better can it be, though?
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I don't understand the complaints. You know what I mean? But MLB... That's
kind of like 2K. With 2K, how much...
No, I don't understand the complaints. I love 2K.
How much better can 2K really be?
When you ask me, like, I'm like, listen, dog, I'm not the guy to ask that. You know what I'm saying?
Because, I mean, look, I'm not playing the my part.
No.
I'm not playing the my part or the my player. But, like, I mean, like, you can make... Yes, I get you can make minor adjustments to the computer being able to do certain stuff, but like right now, that's the game that I'm playing now is the 2K.
Listen, when you ask me, I'm like, look, I'm not the guy to ask this. I get 2K religiously every year, so I know what to expect. I'm not gonna come up here saying I know I'm gonna get minor adjustments, but I'm cool with that, and I still be playing the old stuff when I got seasons. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is, they pack their game so much. I tell anybody, okay, find the 2K you like to play that. Just find, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you really want the new rookies like that, just find that. And I tell anybody, because really you playing for mechanics, because if you really for real play my NBA or my GM, once you start playing the seasons, you're going to end up with all generics anyway.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing with college. Ain't nobody, like we said, ain't nobody hyped about playing with the real live rosters for 1 year.
Don't nobody care about that.
Don't nobody care about that. We looking at
college football. You playing with 3 years.
Well, see, if you playing with players that's going to be draft eligible, like if you playing to play with Arch Manning, he draft eligible after this year.
Well, like I was saying, I'm like, well, at least because if you play 4 full seasons, no one is real at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody. You know what I mean? So
right. And dudes be like having 30 season dynasties.
I'm hoping they increase the limit. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it was only 30 seasons. Some people, listen, I've played a lot of seasons.
The most I ever lasted on any type of season, it was on like one of the Madden, I think it was 05 with Ray Lewis on the cover.
That game was underrated, fam.
But I think I did like 9 or 10 seasons.
That game was underrated. It's easy to see football, 17 weeks, 18 weeks? That's not hard to do. Right. It's the basketball that's hard to do. But because I mean, but folks be simulating games. See, like I ain't simulating no games. I'm playing every last one of them. I've simulated 20 years to have all generics before. I've done that.
See, now what I do with the 2K though is I create my player, and then I do a custom roster, and I add players from the past to the modern. Because they don't, for whatever reason, they don't allow you to go to the 90s, 2000s era and bring players from now back then. But you can
draft.
No, like when you create a roster, like say you want to do a my era and you started with the Kobe era of 2002. You can't take Steph Curry and be like, okay, I'm gonna slide you back there. See if you can do something back there. You can't do that. But you can take everybody from the past, as old as Jerry West and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, You can slide them to the now. You can slide them to the modern.
But what you can also do is select any draft class you want to.
Yeah, you can, but like you gotta go through the season with that.
Yeah,
like without them being there. So what I'm saying is, because we always have these debates, right? Can these new cats play in that league in the past?
Yeah, but you can't do it in 2K because their tendencies ain't right. So that'd be terrible to use that example.
Right, yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying, but the style of play is still different. Like, I did one where I just created a player and I threw him on the Magic for the Kobe era. And this is when T-Mac ain't really had nobody. T-Mac ain't had nobody. And I created a player and I was like, okay, look, it's just me and T-Mac. We're going to see what we can do. You know what I'm saying? And the game style is a whole lot slower.
It is. I got an 02 season with the Wizards. Nick Van Exel, Spreewell, Jordan, my creative guy, and then Kwame Brown. That's my 5. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whole different flow. You know what I mean?
Right. It's so much slower. But when you play with the modern, it's like everything is a little bit faster. And then if you go to your coaching game plan and you change your offense to like shoot at will, then the computer, they be more aggressive about taking open shot. Because what I do when I create my player and I do a my era with him, I lock on to him. I lock on to him. So I'm not controlling any of the other 4 guys on the floor. I just lock on to my guy and I control him.
Why don't you just do my player then? Let's do the season.
Because my player, you got to spend money. Then you start off at like a 56 and all this other crap.
You like the grind, don't you?
What kind of grind you gonna get with 56 overall when everybody else on the floor that you playing against is at least 75? You can't even make a layup.
Yeah, 2K wilding. They be wilding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
with that.
That's
the only time I ever went through it, honestly, was NBA Live 16.
The one mode.
That was the Russell Westbrook cover. I actually went through I ended up getting drafted for the Kings. Like, that was like the most enjoyable like lock on season. I did 18 too. I was with the Pelicans. I got drafted for the Pelicans. I was playing that, but I was
they didn't change their name, by the way.
I was doing the street and the league, so I was mainly on the street with it though. But whatever.
Right. Yeah, but that's what I do. Because to play basketball on the video game, I'm not trying to control 5 guys.
I'm gonna tell you though what's hard to control. I'm gonna tell you.
Right.
Because I'm doing a season in the WNBA. Dog.
I still don't got no interest in doing that, dog.
I'm not saying you gotta listen. That's some of the I am frustrated. Okay, so frustrated. Created me a female 5'11". She a guard doing her thing. Boom, boom. Y'all can look at that if y'all want. The Mercury, man, they all miss layups. All of them. They don't make layups, dog. I don't care how open.
Well, look at
nah.
But that ain't. It's not like that's not what you see.
They miss too many layups
when you turn on the game.
They miss too many layups.
What is it that Angel Reese? She just trademarked the me bound. The me bound
layups. I was so tempted to touch the sliders. I'm like, bro, they missing too many. Man, listen.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Too many layups. You know
that's the thing. That's the thing. As a gamer, whenever you go game on one of these sports stuff, you can't be afraid to touch the sliders.
They miss too many layups. I mean,
you can't be afraid to touch the sliders.
I'm like, yo, I have never.
Because look, with Madden, see, because here's my thing. With Madden or college, when stuff get too easy to win, I get bored.
Yeah.
I get bored. I get bored when stuff get too easy to win.
That makes sense.
And I'm not one of these guys that just has fun blowing the computer out 80 to whatever.
Yeah.
At the end of I want this to be a challenge. And so with Madden, I started me a franchise with Madden. I raised the computer stuff up. So like, you know how they have it on the scale of 1 to 100. And you start off on all Madden is 50-50 for both ways. Right. User and the computer. I took the computer up to 75. Because that's what 2K has it as. 2K has it as 75. And when I say 2K, I mean like NFL, ESPN, 2K5 on the PS2.
Right.
They have the computer stuff 3/4 of the way up. See, but the only problem is with 2K, when you play on their hardest level, they lower your stuff too.
Yeah, that's really all it be is sliders. I kind of look at it's like.
Don't be ashamed to touch them sliders.
No,
Don't be ashamed to touch them sliders. You gonna complain about all them layups? Just touch them sliders. Dog. Put them joints up.
You won't believe how many layups they miss.
Look.
Listen.
Either way.
Listen, dog. Like 2K, y'all wilding like that.
Right. See, I'm gonna give you an example to try to get back on topic with the college, right? When I see other gamers do college dynasty modes on YouTube and I watch it, they'll take a terrible team and they can win the championship the next season. And I'm like, that ain't realistic at all. That ain't realistic at all. It's not supposed to be that easy.
Right.
It's not supposed to be that easy. You're supposed to have to grind to go through this.
Right.
Like when you building up a team from nothing, that normally takes about 3 to 4 years just for you to get them to be good.
Right.
3 to 4 years for them to be even considered good. And then another 3 or 4 years for you to look at them as a contender.
Right.
So, I mean, stuff be happening too fast, and I know they don't be messing with the user, with the sliders, and they probably play on an easy difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm not gonna trip on that because I always say it's options for a reason. You play how you want to, right? But it's just them layups. I hate missed layups, dog. One thing that pissed me off in any basketball game was missing a layup.
Especially when you wide open. But that's what 2K does to you on a regular basis. You rated 56 and you be wide open on layup and this dude clink it off the side. And you be sitting there looking at this like, man, look.
Yeah, nah.
That's how they be trying to get folks to spend $20. Because if they can get folks to spend $20, they know them missed layups ain't gonna be a thing anymore. Because they gonna have enough VC coins or whatever. See, that's the plot. That's the plot.
One thing I would give 2K credit for this though, because I say this. They do this with mobile, right? So they need to separate the game. Because my player is a whole different experience than offline. That is a whole different experience. You spend $0 offline. You go to my NBA, $0. You don't spend nothing. But don't nobody want to do that though. They want to play with. I get it because it's a new day and age. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. I like to just do seasons and stuff. You know
right.
What I mean,
look. I've done the my player before, and I had my fun with it. The only way that you can really have a real enjoyable experience is if you got 4 other cats online that you know. And y'all getting on at the same time.
Yeah.
But this college right here, they have not shown anything to me that makes me be real hyped and excited about the new version.
But was you genuinely expecting that though? Honestly, was you?
I wasn't genuinely expecting a lot, but I was expecting better than this.
I say this. Not gonna know until you play it though. Like the trailer be kind of
Right.
Once you play it, you might feel a little different. I don't know, because trailers, they don't even hit the same no more. Okay?
No,
they don't even. I remember when trailers used to come out back in the day, you'd be like, yo, now I feel like they put the trailer out because they forced to. You know what I'm saying? With the internet, you don't even need the trailer no more. You know what I'm saying? You don't need none of that. It's like,
well, you still got to give the people something.
Yeah, because back in the day, it used to be magazines. The game magazines, they put you on stuff. Then you get excited about that and all that. With the internet now, the hype is gone. You know what I'm saying? There is no hype. So the thing is, the trailer, people just want to know the release date, when it's dropping. All right? You know what I mean? Then they'd much rather watch gameplay than the trailer. They're like, if they just, at this point, in my opinion, if EA just did like a 20-minute, like, yo, this is we gonna play some games and break it down. You know what I'm saying? While the game is on. That's probably would serve better than doing a trailer.
Right.
Play the game, show it, and then,
at the end of the day, what we getting at is 2K, we need y'all to make a game. All right. But anyway, to stay on topic, this would be a good transition too, because based off of the reveal trailers for the deep dives, I would say you got more to look forward to in Madden than you got in college.
Would you, or you gonna play it and be like, man, they was capping about these new
No. All I'm saying is that you would have more to look forward to based on that. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be true. It's just saying, based on what they presented to us, because they hyping their own train up, calling this
EA is elite at doing that though.
Right? Yeah, I ain't willing to go there, because so far to me the best Madden is probably still gonna reign to be the Ray Lewis joint or the what is it? The who was on that cover? It's between the Ray Lewis.
I'll go 5.
Right. Ray Lewis, I know a whole lot of people love 04 Vic.
That's because he was a cheat code. So
yeah, he was a cheat code on that joint. But like for me personally, it's like the Ray Lewis joint and the Brett Favre joint, the 09. The 09.
That game wasn't bad. I know they had a rare Jets cover. No, it's a Packers cover. No, they updated
it's a Packers
the
cover.
It's 2 different covers. It's kind of like how they did with Kyrie, where they had the Cavs cover and they got the Celtics cover.
Yeah, but like, so what I'm gonna do in the future, if you want to get in on it, when it comes to Madden, I'm gonna do a show where I'm gonna be like, look, this would be the best version of Madden in my opinion. And pretty much my whole thing is I'm gonna be like, when it comes to Madden alone, I'm gonna take everything that y'all gave us throughout the history of Madden, and I'm gonna combine that into one. And be like, this would be the best Madden ever.
I play enough Madden. I played every single Madden, so actually I have them all. So I mean, I know about Madden, so I can get down. I'm just look. All I care about, honestly, I can't look past number of draft classes. If there's no draft classes, it is what it is at this point. Honestly, that's all I care about.
The other thing that they tried to advertise in that joint was like the crowd atmosphere with the rivalry games.
How many times they advertise crowd atmosphere?
It's college, so they kind of have to do.
I'm saying, you know what I'm saying?
And the weather. I think they might be tripping a little bit with the weather.
I said something about that snow. Listen, dog. Hold on.
They probably tripping a little bit with the weather.
No, I said there's no. When I said this, I did a trailer response, right, on the gaming channel. I'm like, look, I understand they trying to be like dynamic with the snow. That don't happen like that. You might, in history of football, I've only seen a handful of games that had snow like that on the field, dog. I could see that being a problem. You know what I'm saying? Snow don't, maybe in New York it hit like that. Maybe in probably Green Bay, Chicago. Maybe. And that's not even often. You might hit that sometimes. Name the games where you had that much snow on the field, dog.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Seriously. I have not seen many games like that where it's just like that all the time.
Well, see, that was my beef with rain. The rain games is rain all 4 quarters. It's like they haven't watched weather game. See, like even this past season, the Jameis Winston game where he beat Pittsburgh. The first half, it was green grass.
Yeah.
But the second half, it was a snow blizzard.
Yeah.
So it's like that goes to show the weather doesn't stay the same throughout the whole game. Anybody that's been to Florida knows it don't rain all day in Florida.
No, y'all get a strong 20 minutes.
Yeah, a strong 20 minutes. Then after that, but let Madden tell it, or any of these video games tell it. That rain means it's gonna rain the whole game.
I had an issue with that snow. I'm like, dog, nah. I'm like, that's going, if anything presents a problem, it looks good in the trailer. They want to show off the effects. That look nice. But
no, man, look, I already seen a dude say, that weather is nice, but I'm gonna turn the weather off.
He gonna turn the weather off?
Yeah, like to where he gonna just control it all day long. He gonna be playing in nights, bright, sunny skies, and all this other stuff.
Listen, I don't mind playing different weather, right? The only games, honestly, where I felt like the weather was in effect, honestly, was Sega Genesis, dog. When you be sliding all over the place in the snow, I didn't like. You supposed to be doing that this year? Sliding? Oh, that's gonna piss. No, dog. Yeah, that's gonna piss people off.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So they said you
supposed to be doing that this year. You supposed the weather's gonna be in effect. It's gonna be more foggy to where you can't barely see nothing.
You can't see. That's why I'm like, nah, dog.
Now, the one real football feature that they brought to this, short quarterbacks not gonna be able to see as much downfield, especially when they got the big offensive lineman in front.
I thought they wasn't talking about receivers too, but they're just quarterbacks.
Just quarterbacks.
Because they said like the button, the fog or something, or fade away or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, that should be realistic.
Right, which means, look, this is where I appreciate 2K, just to go back to 2K as an example. With EA, all the players kind of look the same and do the same things.
That's not supposed to be the case this year. I'm just
right.
saying.
But 2K, every player seemed to have their own personality. At least with
what game?
At least with the creative players. No, I'm talking about basketball. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm about to say, I thought you were talking about football.
I'm talking about basketball. I'm talking about basketball.
Well, yeah, NBA 2K, they've been doing it. I'm going to say this about NBA 2K. Now, where 2K is at now, will it be here if they still had the football license? Since they can lock all the way in on it.
I mean, look, I already told you my suggestion what 2K should have been doing. They should have just came out with a football game anyway. Well, so what if it can't be a NFL game? Just say professional football and make up teams.
I played All Pro like 2 months ago. I'm like, this game fire. It reminded me of any given Sunday.
Now that game technically has the best gameplay of any football.
The weather is cold in that too, though.
But that game has the best game. The reason why that game fell short, they don't have no like franchise or anything like that in it.
Yeah, I don't know what they was on with that.
And you can't create a player in there. So it's like you got the creativity with the teams and the stadiums and stuff like that. And you got the ability to bring some players from the past and stuff like that, which is cold. But that gameplay, dog, that gameplay was cold. That gameplay, bar none, it's like them and then 2K5, and then there ain't nothing else behind it.
Because John Elway threw a pass. I'm like John Elway for real.
And then, well, I mean, there was one underrated game that has some good like
you talking about
physics.
You talking about
Backbreaker.
That game actually looked good still. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But I mean, Madden, listen, y'all. I'm probably gonna stick with Madden on the Switch too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's supposed to be as powerful. Well, I got it. So it's about as powerful as the if I get the next gen Madden on that, I'm not getting it on the 5 or the 6. I mean, because I can't transfer my draft classes, dog. Like, so
right? Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna just pick. I'm gonna get it on that. You know what I mean?
See, now what you can do is you can just stick with what the generic draft classes is, and you can raise the draft class quality.
Oh yeah, but what I always do is this. I do it in basketball too, but football, I go to the undrafted part and create me about like 10 dudes and see where they land. I create a quarterback, cornerback, running back,
different styles.
Yeah, just create some guys and see where they land and what teams they go on.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's not a bad thing to do. Just if you got time to do it.
I got cooked by one of the quarterbacks I made.
That's another thing. Like back when we fell in love with these franchises for the games, we didn't have the same responsibilities that we got now.
Mm-hmm.
Living the adulthood is not all it's cracked up to be. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like you don't got as much time as you would like to have.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about choices, people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's about choices, the choices you make, depending on what time you do have. You got to make choices in whatever you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just really what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, if you got kids and all that,
well, even if you don't got kids, you ain't got no time.
You know what I mean? Like, depending on what you into, though.
Yeah.
Depending on your day-to-day, what you doing, you kind of pretty much, because I'm busy all day, but that's due to work and then what I'm trying to build on when I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
That's pretty much the day. It depends on what your day-to-day is. You know what I mean? Because Sugar Free says something that was I thought was real. He like, everybody got the same 24 hours, but you chose not to do nothing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody got the same 24. What you doing with that 24? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So.
Well, anyway, let's move to the Madden.
Yep.
Let's move to the Madden. Mm-hmm. I ain't gonna front. Madden's presentation that they gave us in the deep dive is better than college's. Am I saying that it's going to be a good game or a great game? No, I'm not saying that. Because it's just like, it still kind of looks to a degree copy and paste from last year. We just upgrading a few things.
Mm-hmm. Would you say last year was one of the better feeling Maddens of late?
No. Like last year, I still had some problems with Madden, with player movement, and it always is going to go back to the gameplay. Like if you really was to break this down, and when I say break this down in comparison with college and whatnot, if you really was to break this down, and what I mean by that is if you playing a game and you just do a play and you go to the replay and you look at what every single player is doing in that replay, you can find a lot of flaws in both games. Look at what they doing versus what they supposed to be doing or what they should be doing. That right there is one of the things that can help you determine, like how realistic it is to football. Because one thing that they still ain't got down pat is proper defensive back technique. Like they don't have a proper back pedal with changing of the hips. They don't got that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't got that in Madden. Offensive lineman logic is still like crazy. They don't have it to where it's supposed to be at.
I mean, look, I'll say this. The likelihood in the game where you're going to get complete, authentic representation of football is slim to none.
No, and I'm not saying that it needs to be the full thing, but you got the technology to do this. You just spending your time on stuff that's not relevant. To me, at least. Because I don't play MUT.
Who?
MUT.
Ultimate Team?
Yeah. I don't play MUT.
I'm about to say, have you tried the free Maximum Football yet? It's free for PS5 now.
Oh yeah?
You can try it for free. You don't got to pay nothing.
I have to check it out then. I have to download that. Matter of fact, let me do that now. I can put that in.
Because they got Dynasty mode and they got. This is Maximum Football, been around for a long time. It's the reboot. Okay. You got the college style and then you got the pro style, right? So, but you can play it free though. You know what I mean? Right now. So you can do all that free. Now, stuff you pay for is what you pay for, but you can actually play, create your team and all that stuff. Free. You know what I mean? So they wanted everybody to get in there and see what's up. You know what I mean? So.
Okay, well, I'm about to download that joint right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to download that joint right now.
But as technical as you is, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I seen videos of it. It doesn't look like the greatest thing in the world, but it could be good in some aspects.
Yeah.
In some aspects. But like with this Madden, so going again, because, okay, you said this, right? And I said the same thing in my head. I just ain't say it out loud. But you said it out loud. How was we getting revealed trailers about Madden before college?
I don't know what even
college supposed to be coming out first.
Yeah, it comes out in a couple weeks actually. So
right.
I mean, that tells me that this game is not going. Listen, I'm not expecting. I committed to it already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already going to get it. So, I'm not expecting nothing. Some of these cats, I'm going to say this, some of these cats get on the internet and be on some views, knowing what you finna get. You know what I'm saying? You know that. You know what I mean? Like, and they leave the servers up for a couple years just in case you don't upgrade. You know what I'm saying? That way you can download updated rosters and stuff like that. So, you don't have to get it. You know what I mean? If you don't want to. So it's like, I mean, listen, I don't know why they dropped the Madden first. I'm confused. I still don't know why they did that, like, at all. Like, I thought you'd be rolling out to college the whole time. I thought you'd be doing like a week-to-week thing. So I'm saying?
Yeah, because they know that college was their big moneymaker. I don't know why you would delay with this.
Listen, I have no answer for that.
I don't know why.
Because you dropping Madden. Madden wasn't coming out to August?
Yeah.
And Madden come out like in August, dog.
Something like that.
Yep.
But like when I look at the two of them, and I think about Madden this year, like I said, the deep dive gives me more to feel optimistic about, but because of their history, I can't trust them.
Mm-hmm.
The quarterback throwing motions. Okay, that's something that should have been in here.
That's what I'm saying. That's a pass.
Like some of these features that they advertising was in ESPN 2K5. Like when they talk about the defensive lineman doing stunts, that was in ESPN 2K5.
I know the halftime show for sure is.
Defensive lineman doing stunts was in 2K5. So, like, you ain't wowing me here by finally putting that in 20 years after they already did.
Listen, They should have been had signature styles. That's a past gen feature.
Running styles and all. Like I seen on the trailer, Isaiah Pacheco, the running back for the Chiefs, he got his running style where he looked like a mad child and stuff like that.
I can't give that a pass. You had signature styles. Actually, if you want to be honest, technically, you had signature moves in Bulls versus Lakers on Sega Genesis. Then signature styles was the NBA Starting 5 2005, a Japanese-only game. Then it went full-fledged in NBA 2K7, okay? So you had signature abilities and stuff and all that then. So football should have been did that a long time. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I'm not, whatever. I don't know why they didn't. I know they had, if you create a quarterback, or if you create a player, you will see certain throwing styles of certain players in certain Maddens, but it wasn't like everybody. Because every quarterback got a different throwing style, to my eye. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Everybody. I don't see one person throw the same.
Yeah. So they kind of put that into a degree because for the past, 3 or 4 Maddens or what it is? I don't remember what it is, but for those Maddens, they've been allowing you to have like different throwing motions, which is good, but they need to have different running styles, it looks like they kind of have that a little bit. The one thing that I do like though is that when you a computer or when you playing against the computer, when you play against the computer, and you run up against certain coaches, supposedly, based on what this thing says. We'll have to wait and see if it actually stands to be true. But based on what this thing says, they gonna call the game to their personality.
Yeah, I seen the Dan Campbell situation. I'm like,
So if you play against the Lions and it's 4th and short, does this mean that Philadelphia is gonna have the tush push if it's gonna be 4th and 1?
Now maybe if I don't know if I missed it, but I didn't see tush push highlights.
I ain't seen no tush push either.
Have that ever been in Madden?
No. I mean, they have very bad versions of the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know if they implemented that, but a lot of people don't like tush push. So I'm
not a fan of the tush push personally.
A lot of people not feeling that. I say this, Madden looks like it's gonna be solid at least. I'm not saying it's gonna be great. I'm not saying it's all World Hall of Fame. I say this. My thing is when you're the only one around, you able to put yourself. You only went out there, so you get nitpicked with everything. When you have competition,
they can compare and contrast, and then people can pick and choose what they want to do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, because when you're the only one around, everything is getting nitpicked to the finest degree. You know what I mean? Now, if you had 3 or 4 other football games, then it's like, okay, we see Madden is actually premium compared to these joints right here. You know what I mean? Because when Madden had game day problems, you had NFL Fever around. You had all these other football games around. Madden stood out on top because when you play Madden, besides game day, actually was competitive.
Game day was competitive.
On PS1, game day was cold. Now when they got the PS2,
I ain't care for the Fever. I ain't care for the Fever.
Yeah, that was a mixed bag. I don't hate Fever. You know what I'm saying? But there was some Fever wasn't trash though. It wasn't garbage. You know what I mean? It just wasn't up to Madden. But Madden, when they had competition, they kept on their toes, man. When you're not on your toes, you get lax. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with 2K. If there was other competition, I guarantee you VC wouldn't be this rampant. You know what I mean? It wouldn't be. If you had 4 other NBA Sims running around, they wouldn't have all this VC stuff. And Madden, they will be changing their game up. So I expect the same solid gameplay. I expect the same solid gameplay in college. And that's just that.
What else they advertise in this? The custom pre-play defensive back zone coverages. You got to know what you're doing for you to pull that off successfully. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you do. Not only do you got to know what you're doing, you got to know like what buttons to press before they say hike. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you cooking people with that, Josh?
Look, people will get cooked themselves. Just because, you know, like people think, well, I ain't gonna say people think, but for the gaming community that plays Madden and whatnot, if you successful in Madden, don't let that cause you to think that you know football. You know, like, wouldn't you get pissed off? Wouldn't you get pissed off if you talked to a dude and he was like, "Well, in 2K, I was able to do blah 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 blah
Listen,
blah."
I've been pissed off many times. Okay.
Okay.
If you've noticed, I've been putting up training modules on the channel.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
hey,
I seen it. I seen
here,
the Jermaine O'Neal one today.
Y'all, listen. I'm like, listen, man. These are things that I study in real life. Okay, so if I lose in 2K, I can eat that. Let's go to the court though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it when people do that. I've been hit with that many times, and it instantly give me a headache. It's like, dog, listen, man, it's a game. You won in the game, but do you know angles and anything like that? You can't break this down to a science. You know what I mean? You can't. So I get it. You know what I mean?
Is this maximum football? Is it the full game?
No, yeah. I mean, you got certain. You can play the. You got access to the game for free. Okay, but in order to, it's like I have not played the Dynasty or the franchise and like that, because I think the Dynasty. Let me look prices right now, because it's free. You can do you can do everything. You can even do franchise and everything. But I think you got a certain amount of saves or something like that when it comes to the whatever. I'm gonna look it up right now. Because you can play it for free, period, point blank. That's why I say you can play it for free. They wanted everybody to get into it. They wanted everybody to get, but like, let me see. I'm looking it up right now on Steam because, all right, so let me see. So premium access is jump straight into full Dynasty mode experience, start new saves, play unlimited seasons. So it's like everything's a limit as far as like with seasons and stuff. You know what I mean? So the premium access is like $20. Then the maximum football legend pass is $40. And that's like, Dynasty package access to exclusive cosmetics, Dynasty Plus. Look, man, you can play it for free, man. You know what I'm saying? Like if you choose to play, like if you choose to buy like the unlimited saves and all that, that's cool. But at least you're able to go in there and play the game for free, create your team, all that, and see what's up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Before you commit to it, they pretty much what they're doing is like play our game. And if you want to commit to it, here's the price points. You know what I'm saying? And it's the highest you're gonna pay is $40, but you can go in there and experience the whole game free. So I don't think that's a bad thing, especially if you're trying to get into like the football ecosystem.
I mean, look, it's good for Madden to have competition. For them to say that this is, I mean, Maximum Football really ain't competition.
Yeah.
But like Madden.
The only people that's gonna threaten them is if you've seen All Pro Football come back. You know what I'm saying? That's the only cats.
Football 2K.
That's gonna do it. Or Blitz the League or something. You know what I'm saying?
No. Any like fantasy football kind of thing is not going to threaten.
Did you rock with Blitz the League? No.
Blitz the League was, a cold game in its own right, but it didn't threaten real football games.
I'm playing through. I'm like, this game is wild. Actually,
yeah, it's crazy. They be showing the bones breaking and taking shots and stuff like that.
Steroids, everything.
I'm they be taking all of that stuff. So I'm saying, like,
of course, Lawrence Taylor is in it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Front
Yeah.
and
Yeah. But I mean, John Randall was on the NFL Blitz.
Let me ask you this. Would you be against this, right? Because you know how NBA 2K got my player and stuff. So if they came out with a football game, pro football game, they had a my player mode, all generic, my player mode, deep franchise, all pro football gameplay, obviously modernized up, but you can create everything, but you got a story mode. It feels rated teen that show like the dark side of football. You know what I'm saying?
I'm playing it.
You own that?
Yeah, I'm playing it, man. Because I mean, look, we know kind of half the stories already when we just listen to what some of the players got to say.
Yeah.
We know some of those stories already. So it's like, are we scratching the surface based off of what we hear?
Rated teen is scratching the surface. Rated MA is touching everything. Because boxing, they still didn't even, like with the story mode in boxing, when EA rated MA, because a lot of people don't, they got an MA rated game, Fight Night Champion, a boxing game. And they went into the story mode. And they rated that MA, and they didn't even get that deep with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking like if I don't know why they wouldn't do that, because this the crazy part. You know the announcers at NFL 2K, they on this game called Access Football. I'm like, dog, why they on this? Like, listen, if 2K bought Access Football, used those assets and implemented the All Pro on it with the announcers, I don't think anybody would be mad at that. Take all the assets from that game where you create your team and all that stuff. You put your deep franchise in there. You know what I'm saying? All generics. Create draft classes. Do all that stuff. I think they'll be just fine. What EA gonna do? Buy that too? You know what I'm saying? You gonna buy that too? You gonna say you can't make a simulation football game?
Right.
And mind you, you got more freedom that way because you're not under the NFL thumb. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, I mean,
so you do whatever you want with a game like that.
That's why I said ESPN 2K, I mean, they should just come up with their own thing. This way they can be as creative as they want to be.
Yep.
If they was to be as creative as, you know what people would be doing? They would be comparing that to the Madden. They'd be like, look, I'd rather play this.
I mean, and it has more longevity too, because there's no lifeline to it. Because the thing is, it's not tied
licensed and it's not
rosters.
Regulated by what other folks say it can and can't happen.
It's not tied to current rosters.
And this is especially if they made it with the ability where people can create and, and customize.
That's the key. That's the key, because if you could upload custom logos, oh, it's over with. You don't even need to. You got people that's hardcore with that. That's gonna nail it to the T. Stadiums and all. You just wait about 2 months. You have every single team. You know what I'm saying? Everything.
Right.
You be straight.
Right.
You know what
So
I
mean, look, I don't know. So based off of what you've seen, to get back on this, based off of what you've seen, is it worth it to get the bundle this year?
I didn't get the bundle. I just my sister. Look,
I'm asking you, is it worth it? Because pretty much to me, if you get the bundle, the only thing that you're paying for is to get it 3 days early.
I didn't get the bundle.
And you saving $5
if you pay for it previously. You know what I'm saying? You actually get a deal if you pay for it previously. But listen, my sister actually caught me Madden on the Switch, so I'm getting that free. You know what I'm saying? Then college, I just pre-ordered that this week for the PS5.
Well, you about to pay again, because I know if you like it, you going if you like it enough, you're gonna get Madden on the other consoles.
Yeah, I get it on the 5. You know what's crazy? Last year, the first year I didn't double dip, and I was itching to do it. I didn't do it. So I got 2K on Xbox and the football on the PS5, and I stuck to it and didn't double dip. I stuck to it. You know what I'm saying? So this year, like, the college didn't come out for the Switch. The Switch 2 is the new Switch. Is about as powerful as like a PS4, whatever. It's powerful enough. If I get the next gen version on the Switch, I might be straight. We'll see. But if it's on sale, I might get it for $5 regardless. You know what I'm saying?
Got you.
I have the Madden pre-ordered already, so I'm getting it day one. It's just on the Switch too. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. I understand. So I asked you this question with the college. Let me ask you this question with the Madden. What was the flaws with 26?
You talking about 25 or 26?
Yeah, I'm sorry, 25.
25.
With the Madden.
To be honest, for me personally, it was one of the better. The reason I liked it so much because it felt like the college. That's why, you know what I'm saying? So I liked it because it felt
you
like
think
the
it felt like the college? Like it was slower.
As far as no, it was slower, but it was the same like engine. Like this is the best feeling Madden I felt in a long time. I didn't really care much for the Maddens beforehand. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Madden was bad. I would say this. Once it got to the Series X and PS5, I thought Madden was solid all the way through personally. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, I thought it was solid all the way through, but I'm not deep diving in it like you though. See, so when I'm playing, I'm like, it's not bad. I don't have high expectations for it. So when I'm playing in the franchise, I'm like, it's cool. I don't think it's like super elite, but then again, I don't think it's like bad either. It's like it's cool. I feel neutral about it all the way through.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
To me, Madden wasn't a terrible game, but just like I said before, if you was the instant replay every play on Madden, you'll be able to see some like crazy stuff from.
No, I think I showed you a video, I think a couple years ago or something, where it was some sort of crazy interception that popped up. I was heated, turned the game off. Like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, what is this? You know what I mean? So I say this. You know, when you play Maximum Football and then play Madden, then Madden compared to Maximum Football is premium compared to that. This is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you
I can see that. I can see that easily. I can see that.
So, I mean, Maximum, it's easy to nitpick Madden so much because they're the only ones. They brought it on themselves. You shouldn't have brought the competition out.
Right.
That's all I can say about it. You brought it on yourself. So if you're going to buy out the competition, you supposed to make a perfect game. You know what I'm saying? If you don't make a perfect game, then now you're getting cooked because you bought the competition. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have no room for flaws when you buy out the competition. But if you had competition, it's like, okay, well, man, they did this wrong, but compared to this, it's killing it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, when you take away people's options, then you open up the door for more critique.
Right. Because we have no choice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I'm not blown away by anything or overly excited about anything. This is both games is a let's wait and see situation.
And also, you gotta think about it getting older too. It's just what it is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't trick me.
That and not having the time to time is limited. Like we got full-time jobs.
Yep.
We got full-time jobs. So when we come home, it's like shower, handle business with the wife, whatever she need, and then we got whatever time that we want to use that for.
Yep.
And if I choose to pick up the sticks, then I might play this product.
Yep.
So, I mean, I don't know. Look, man, Madden, college got me the most heated because I was like, man, this is it. Madden, it has the better gameplay deep dive, but because of their history, I can't believe them.
Yeah,
At the end of the day, man, we need to play it to believe it. to see some of this stuff so we can judge it for ourselves. You over here crowning yourself the best Madden ever. Not saying that that's a tall task, but your recent history shows that you can't even scrape that.
Listen, as somebody who plays, I'm more of a basketball guy, so I mean, Madden is fine for what it is to me personally. You know what I'm saying? I know over the years I have every single Madden, so it's like I know what to expect. So I have zero hype. I'm not even about to get myself worked up personally. Like, I seen the joint, I'm like, yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? All I'm gonna do is pick the Lions, go to franchise mode. That's what I'm gonna do every year. You know what I'm saying? And
I feel you.
And if I notice something cold, I say something. I'm not expecting, because if you think about it, it was like this when we was kids. How different was it year to year?
It wasn't that different.
You know
I mean, it was on the same engine.
Like, it wasn't, but you was more hype. Why? Because you had more time, like you said, to really get into the, you know what I mean? So it's like, I'm not about to get myself
Not just that.
up.
Not just that. They put, or at least the thought process is that they put more effort into the game back then than they did now.
You had more, things wasn't so online. You can play, the thing is this, back then, when you get a game, it was not based online. So you had all kind. I was playing old Maddens recently. You had all kind of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
You even had a couple of the Maddens where they had Madden 1-on-1 where they teaching you football.
Mm-hmm.
Walking you through literally teach you football. You can really go through everything and just sit there and learn the game. You know what I'm saying? Add all that up in there. So, I mean, it was just a different experience back then because it wasn't based, it wasn't microwaved up like with social media. Back then, you get the game, you had deep modes, and you was locked in like that. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just...
And there was no updates to the game throughout the season. It is what it is.
You deal with what you deal with. So whatever bug it is, you got to find and work your way around that. You have to work your way around that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, I mean, look, on a scale of 1 to 10, my optimism for Madden and college is probably somewhere between a 6 and a 5.5.
That makes sense.
I don't expect them to give me anything different than what they gave me last year.
I'm not. Look, I expect them to be like this because college was fire. I mean, I liked it. I just want to know. I know draft class is not gonna be. I'm not gonna play myself. If draft classes is there, man, I'd be shocked. But it don't look like it because I think that'd been the first thing they advertised. I think that would have been the first thing they advertised. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I can see why it wouldn't be because Dynasty mode don't make them the money. They're gonna cater to the dollar first.
Well, that's why I give 2K credit because they both, even though like the percentage is like I think less than 10% of people that play my NBA, dog. You know what I'm saying? It's like less than 10, dog. But they still give the offline player something. Right. So the franchise been the same for I don't know how long when it come to Madden. So I'm like, look.
Yeah. And they just brought back, and they kind of did it in a very lazy way. You can't really see it, but they just brought back when you do a fantasy draft, you can see who everybody drafted.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, the franchise mode is, listen, I think the franchise, I think 2K did a great job. Nobody is as deep as them in this baseball. Them two got like that stuff on lock, the franchise mode. Now, with baseball, I don't know how the contract stuff works, so I'll be in that mug lost. But I still got to understand that. But basketball, you do everything in basketball pretty much from top to bottom.
Right.
So football, I can't say that. But the thing is, if you can just give me the draft classes, I'm cool. Like you said. Give me the draft classes.
Just give me the ability to transfer draft classes and literally copy and paste everything the same way from college last year. And while I will still be like, man, they ain't do nothing, they ain't improve, I'm gonna be all right with
it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So,
all right, so that's Madden and Cook in college.
Yep.
So now you want to hit this last subject?
Shea and them. Yeah, we get hit on that because
Oklahoma City,
they choked.
Indiana, Game 6. Game 6, man. Look, now you put yourself in a situation where anything can happen.
Choke job. Do you believe in the theory of they just want to win it at home?
I do believe that does exist with some players.
Do you think that flyer Rick Carlisle in them? The way they was looking? I don't
think Rick Carlisle is going to try to do all of that. Like, I think Rick Carlisle is the type, look, we're going to take advantage of every game that we can win.
No, what I'm saying is, like, you want to play that game with them, though.
With Rick Carlisle and them?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, we already know that they roster on paper is very underwhelming.
Pacers got to win at OKC.
Yeah, they already did that. So it's not like this is not something that they can't do, which is good for their confidence. But coming off a blowout, their confidence should be like way up there.
The Pacers match better than people want to admit. They do. I'm just like looking at them like, because of Rick Carlisle, they gonna have a fighting chance if they fight. This is the thing. I see that they keep not wanting to give the Pacers they credit all the way. It's like, dog, they in Game 7.
This the first time a Game 7 happened in the finals, and what?
I don't remember, but the fact is the Pacers one game away from the championship, and they still don't want to really get them credit like that. Like, well, SGN, and they just, bam, like, dog, like, y'all don't want to give the Pacers credit for nothing, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's because the Pacers, they don't have the money-making name.
They're winning the game.
Or the money-making frame. I mean, but remember, you said it. Once money is involved in anything, it's no longer authentic, right?
I feel you, exactly.
So this is a business, and not just any type of business. This is a business that's thriving on entertainment.
I feel you.
So, which is like, if we was to carry that back all the way back, like all the way,
mm-hmm.
that can influence on who became champions, who didn't.
I understand what you're saying here. I'm just saying, like, the Pacers, they can't get no credit here instead of just saying what's wrong with OKC. They
listen to the people that saying it.
Cooked, bruh. Tyrese Halliburton was wilding. You know what I'm saying?
He was wild, and he ain't had to score a lot of points, which is good because he's a real point guard.
Yeah, he was running the ones. Everybody, look, man, they played a team game, dog, and won, man. Right. They don't want to give them no credit. Just give them credit. And like you said, the Thunder can't play close. They gotta blow you out. Otherwise,
right.
They just
right. If it's a close game, they act like they don't know how. The coach himself.
Yeah, he's been out coached. That's clear.
He act like oh man, what is he doing? What's he doing now? What is that?
They finally mentioned what you said. Like, why would you change the lineup before the finals? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I mean, well, you know, a number of folks said that because everybody had the same reaction. We was looking at that lineup that he had and was like, hold up, how was he starting? You know, like everybody was looking at that, and it's like you psyched yourself out the game. Because had you would have won game 1, this series would have probably been over already.
They should have won yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they should have closed it out yesterday.
They didn't play well enough as a team though to do that. Like, listen, Shea and Jalen Williams, I guess you could say they played okay.
Mm-hmm.
But like when we look at the games that Oklahoma City won,
Mm-hmm.
3 names made consistent big plays for them.
Mm-hmm.
So Lou Dort made a lot of consistent big plays for them defensively and sometimes offensively when he's left open to shoot with that high arcing 3-point shot. Alex Caruso.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Caruso was making big plays for them a lot, and then Chet Holmgren having that. Like neither one of them 3 players did anything, and I think that was partially due because of Rick Carlisle. Because normally Tyrese Halliburton, he'll hold the ball a little bit longer, but it seemed like last night the game plan with Halliburton was like, look, move off the ball, get rid of the ball quickly, and they won't be able to guard you.
Yeah,
which is like it worked. It worked in a lovely way.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Pacers. I just think. Listen, I even got to eat crow. I didn't think the Pacers was cold like this as a team. I didn't. They
really not. They really not.
They playing the game the right way.
Yeah, which is like
you don't get this far for no reason, dog. Like they won game from the finals.
Exactly.
They got to get the credit.
Exactly. Which is like that kind of goes in. Look, team basketball, team sports. Period.
I know a lot of people want to give them their credit. They got to get their credit. They've been. Listen. Whether people feel that way or not, they win away from the championship.
Yeah. And
one win away.
Personally, I'm fading, dog.
I see.
What
was that last statement before we slide? I'm
fading, bro. I'm fading. I've been up since 4:00 this morning.
Yeah, you know that's that
adult life.
That's that work week. You know what I'm saying?
Adult life.
That's that work week. But yeah. So what's that last statement before we slide up out of here? Get that up out of you real quick.
Oh man. Well, I mean, you know what? When you be nodding off, you be forgetting what you was about to say. But right. I will say this: as far as the Game 7 is concerned, I kind of heard Jay Williams say something. Or was it Jay Williams? I forgot who said it.
I can't say.
I forgot who said it. But he was like, I almost would rather be on the road than be at home.
Was that what Gilbert Arenas and him and Gil have been talking?
Somebody said that. I know he was there because he was like, when you're on the road, then you can lock all the way in, be focused. Whereas when you at home, you got your family that can reach you. You got people reaching out for tickets and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you can kind of cut that off if
you do it right.
In. You know what I'm saying?
If you do it right. But apparently most players or most of the players don't.
Yeah.
And so he was like, look, and it's not like this isn't a mountain that the Pacers have climbed. Like they've been getting a road win every series they played.
Listen, the Pacers, they've been showing this is not a fluke. You know what I'm saying?
And
you don't get this far if it's a fluke.
You know what still gets me? I really wonder what they would look like if they had James Wiseman.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be nice down low. You know what I'm saying?
Because if they had James Wiseman, they would have an answer for a lot of the problems that they have.
You talking about Chet?
I'm not going to say Chet, but...
Because when he turned up, it's like, all right. But, I mean, Chet is, like, you know...
But like, what I'm talking about is, like... So, like, last series with Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
He had a bigger impact than Karl Anthony Towns. He was able to rebound the ball so well and defend the paint so well.
Mm-hmm.
With if they was to have a healthy James Wiseman, a lot of that stuff they would have to fight for a whole lot more.
Yeah, I think
because how big you said that James Wiseman was when you seen him.
That's a big dude, fam. I'm like, dog.
Right.
That's a. We was at the game. I see him up close. I'm like, this is a big dude, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. So
his wingspan was crazy. I seen him like do something like this. Dog, his wingspan was crazy. I'm like, dog.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I really wish that he would have never got hurt and we were able to see what he would have looked like. Because I feel like Rick Carlisle
next year, right? Or no?
Yeah, but like it depends on what kind of contract he has. Like, is he going to be able to?
It wasn't nothing crazy.
Nah. You want to say anything live and direct about the current potential movement before we sign off?
What movement? Talking about who?
The potential trade talks
Durant
with KD. Nobody wanting Bradley.
It's been official because Legion Hoops. You know they don't put out BS. So I know that Jalen Green trade was legitimately offered, or you know what I'm saying, or the Rockets rejected it. If you look up Legion Hoops, Durant, the offer was out there for Jalen Green and somebody else, and like, nah, we good.
I mean, look.
I thought that was like the number one spot that he would fit in at.
It still is the number one spot according to his list from what I've seen from the last reports. My thing is, if you a player on Houston and you heard your name being tossed in the conversation talks,
Jalen Green, well, with him being benched like that, he should already know, like, you know, you probably on the chopping block anyway. No?
Oh, no. I mean, look, to me, he strikes me as one of these young cats that just plays the game for the lifestyle.
Yeah, but I mean, he's probably on the chopping block, man. He's gonna be the first cat to get traded. If
he don't care.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying. He don't care. So it's like, look, man, you get rid of him. I don't
then they keep talking about the T-Wolves with Kevin Durant. So
yeah, but they ain't trying to break up what they got for him.
You wouldn't trade Julius Randle for Kevin Durant?
Straight up, right now.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
straight up, right now, not thinking twice about it. I would definitely.
If they said Nas Reed and Julius Randle for KD, would you do it?
Yeah.
Nas Reed too?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, because Nas Reed, while he's good and he should have been starting, because I felt like he earned that, but like on his best day, he's not Kevin Durant on his worst day.
Right. You said you'll take him.
What, Nas Reed?
No, Durant. You said you'll take him with Orlando. Y'all got Bane. You got Paolo. You throw Durant in there, then what?
If I have Durant, like, I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to move off of Franz. I'll do that.
KD better than Franz right now. You know
right? Yeah. I know, but what I'm saying is, like, when I'm thinking about it, if Paolo is giving me that mid-range / somewhat bully ball, he gonna have the space to do it because Bane can shoot too.
Yeah, you got two shooters, legitimate. Something y'all was lacking bad.
Terrible. So like, we probably would have beat Boston if we had that.
If you got Durant and Bane, that free up Paolo to be. There'd be no excuse for Paolo at that point.
Which is like, I'm not too worried about Paolo. Like, he's been constantly been like on the upward trajectory. It's just not as drastically upward. Like, he's still going up, but he looks like he's going left to right.
Is his ceiling Carmelo Anthony before we go?
It's capable of being that, but I don't. But
because they say Carmelo, that's his comparison. So I mean, where do you think KD gonna end up, man? Like, what's your? Because he's getting traded, but where?
You know, this may sound like a joke, but let the Oklahoma City Thunder mess around and lose this game.
I said he should go back to OKC anyway.
KD would be all in on trying to go to Oklahoma City.
He should go back there anyway and retire. Go back there with that cold squad. Because, I mean, you know, I've told you this before, like, he should just go back home. Retire there, go back home. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, it's not really home for him. It's just where he got drafted at. Which is technically he ain't get drafted by Oklahoma City. He got drafted by the Seattle Supersonics. So
they the same. They share the franchise, fam.
They share the franchise, but we know that Oklahoma City and Seattle is two different cities, two different worlds.
Yeah, I mean,
but he's from Washington. Would he be willing to like play his last days for Washington? Like, who wants to do that?
No, man. Heck
who
no.
wants to do that? Ain't nobody trying to do that.
No, we ain't gonna do that. So I mean, listen, I think personally, I said this last year. Just go back to OKC.
Well, did you see the report last year that Golden State was really trying to trade?
They was trying to get him. They was trying to get him back. Didn't he say he rejected? They say he rejected it, right? He turned that down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So him and Draymond really got real issues. So it sounded like to me. So I mean, you know. So I mean, hey, it is what it is. So, but that's the only hot news as far as moves. So I mean, I guess we can end it here.
Yeah. You want to call a hot take really? Well, not a hot take. You want to call a prediction really quick on this Game 7 for Sunday? Who you got winning?
If this is straight up and no referees involved, it can go either way. I would say if the Pacers, I'm more so confident with the Pacers because they can play in deep waters.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder can't.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is a tight game, because I refuse to believe in Game 7 is going to be a blowout. I refuse to believe if y'all trying to get that chip. You know what I'm saying? So in close waters, I'm just going to go with the Pacers. I'm going to choose them.
My thing is Rick Carlisle been showing his behind the whole series. He been showing his behind the whole playoffs.
He had them put on mini-men.
So, I mean, look, Rick Carlisle, he's showing what he's capable of doing with this roster.
Would you say he better than Spo? I think that's a fair question here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, that's not far-fetched.
Because this team here, like, Rick Carlisle
they ain't bad. Like
Rick Carlisle wilding, dog.
Oh, okay. So, like, I'll say this. Halliburton, obviously, off the top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, what is that? They got, who would you say? Pascal.
Siakam.
Pascal, he been on his stuff,
which is champion, like, though.
Which is like he been playing like
he know how to play in this. He's a champion.
If Pascal would have played like this throughout the regular season, he would have been an all-star.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I mean, hey, he on the biggest floor doing it, so cool. You know what I'm saying?
So, but yeah, him, Obi Toppin is having his moments.
Was that T.J. McCollum?
T.J. McConnell's definitely having his moments. Like, he comes into the game and he's like flip switch on some like Russell Westbrook white boy version type stuff.
Listen, the Pacers, people got to admit the Pacers actually cold.
And you know the funniest thing about this? The number 2 guy that was supposed to be they scorer was Mathurin.
Yeah.
And he ain't even like,
hey.
He ain't really like,
I have more faith.
You can argue that Obi Toppin has been contributing more than Mathurin.
Well, he kind of has been though. So I mean, I have more faith in the Pacers in deep waters because everything got to be right for OKC. OKC didn't get here by accident. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, if it's deep waters, I'm going with the Pacers. So I'm just going to go with the Pacers. I'm going with them because they shown they can come back. They can claw their way out of the deficit and all that. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen that with OKC.
I've been sticking with the Pacers since Orlando got eliminated. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with them again. I'm gonna stick with the Pacers again, and I'm gonna let that be what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
I don't know if Tyrese Halliburton gonna pop off like that or not. I mean, I don't know if his calf is still.
It didn't look like that.
Show didn't look like
You
that.
know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just roll with the Pacers. So Pacers, your last pick?
Pacers gonna be my last pick.
All right, that's that. So we're gonna let Josh get some rest.
Yeah, man, for real, because I am knocked out, and I had me a double portion of my drink, so if that ain't help.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, for sure. So I'm had us up. So,
all right.
Yep.
Peace.
Welcome to FNS Network. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, share the content. Can I rap real quick? Can I rap? On the path to being the best power in the airwaves, jingle the way we break it down the game. Wide body on the highway, we not in one lane, no nonsense. Logic with every topic. The talk too real, the party we not invited. Want the truth? FNS subscribe to it. The death shows, who's playing ride to it. The voice is more important than the image. Feel every word spoken, no need for camera tricks. We on the grind, freeze corner with Jay sideline. DBP next in line. Don't gotta feel he can know when you're fired. We in it for the long haul, the fatigue's off. We don't get tired. Nah, we don't get tired.